Itabashi Zangief. For more than 2 decades, he's been a titan of the fighting game world, known for his indomitable spirit and methodical playstyle. And now, in 2024, East Coast Throwdown looms on the horizon. Something extraordinary is happening. At 43 years old, Itabashi isn't just returning to the battlefield, he's seeking to make history. A veteran, outlasted by time, ready to show that wisdom, experience, and pure willpower might just overcome the raw talent of a new generation. This isn't just another regular tournament. For Itabashi, this is an opportunity to defy every limit. Now, of course, I wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't for the fact that he's playing as the scariest character in Street Fighter, and it's pretty obvious since it's in his name, but yes, he is playing as the grappler who started it all, Zangief. I talked enough about grapplers in my previous videos and why I think they are the best characters. Though, with Itabashi, it feels a little more inspirational with him being 43 years old. As someone who questioned if it's possible to keep up with the youth with the fastest reaction time, I can't help but see a part of myself in Itabashi, and I'm 10 years younger than him. So, let's jump into it. Going into the tournament, Itabashi would end up winning his first 2 matches 2-0. No scrub's gonna take down this boy. He would then have to fight against I Got Them Bombs, a chem player that would end up taking the first game off him, potentially getting a big upset against Itabashi. And in this particular event, upsets seem to be a common theme, with some of the top-seeded players getting knocked out into losers earlier than one would expect. Itabashi would bring it back 1-1 and then take the first round in Game 3. But I Got Them Bombs is looking to add another person to the upset list and brings it back to go to the last game, last round. However, Itabashi is built different.
Pressure there from I Got Them Bombs. Working on another upset of this day that has just been so full of them. Oh, nice whip punish right there with the standing heavy punch.
Up so close to the wall already. You can't even afford to block another headbutt. That's going to be bad.
Oh, he can go for the lever 2 right there? Interesting.
Itabashi would end up getting out of pools on winner's side and would cruise through top 96, not dropping a game. He would then run into Lexx, a Guile player in top 24, where the winner would make it to winner's side of top 8. Round 1 starts, and as you would expect from Guile, he shoots his projectiles. Zangief perfect parries. Now those fighting game nerds might know what a parry is, but some people don't. What parrying is when a character has this blue glow around them, and during this stance you can parry all strikes and projectiles, which gives you the benefit of gaining more drive gauge with each successful parry. Upon exiting parry, you have 33 frames of recovery, which you can still block, but you can't do anything else. Now the big drawback to using parry is that it extends your hurt box, making it so that throws and command grabs can reach from further away. On top of that, it counts as a punish counter, which means it deals more damage, as well as draining one of your drive bars. But what Itabashi did was a perfect parry, and this happens when the hit of a projectile or strike is on the first 2 frames of the parry coming out. It also needs to be timed properly, so you can't just wake up to a meaty and hold the parry button to get a perfect parry on wake up. Now, if you perfect parry a strike, it causes a zoom in and the screen freezes for 60 frames, aka 1 second, to give the player time to react with a punish. However, that punish has a 50% damage scaling, cutting your punish damage in half, in which case it's probably better to do a combo that will do a hard knockdown close to you so that you still have the advantage to maintain pressure, or you can try to push them into the corner. Now, if you perfect parry a projectile, it doesn't freeze the screen, but it makes you recover faster out of the parrying, allowing you to slowly make your way towards your opponent. Zangief jumps over one of the projectiles. Now, I'm sorry about the pause after one sentence, but it's going to be a little pause heavy at the beginning. Now, this is a situation that any character with a fireball in DP want. By shooting a bunch of fireballs and the other person not being able to interact, people tend to want to jump over the fireball to get their turn back. But unfortunately, this is a trap, because now Guile can do his anti-air, which then knocks back the character away to then continue the fireball pressure. Now here comes the next sentence. Zangief goes back in, tries to perfect parry the fireball, and Guile drive rushes in. Now, along with the new parry mechanic, there is now a drive rush mechanic, which is when you hit the parry button and double tap forward, and it acts as a fast get-in option, unless you're Manon. But this isn't the main benefit of it. It also gives you 4 extra frames of advantage at the cost of using 1 bar if you're doing it from a neutral position, or 3 bars if you're canceling out of another attack. This can make it so that some attacks that are normally punishable on block now are safe. A good example of this would be Zangief's standing medium kick, or his newly nerfed knee. Normally this is -4 on block, but using drive rush makes it 0, meaning you could potentially hit your opponent as long as it comes out faster than theirs, like crouching light kick, which comes out in 4 frames. Now, the main reason I actually paused was because of what Guile did with his drive rush. He tossed out a crouching light punch with drive rush, making it +2 in immediately throws. And these are what we call tick throws. Tossing out a fast attack that is plus makes it hard to react to the fast throw right after. And I believe since Zangief was in his parry stance, his only option would be to tech the throw, which is hitting the throw button within 9 frames of being thrown. The throw puts Guile in a good position to keep using projectiles. Zangief jumps at the perfect time to dodge the projectile, and this is a dream setup for Zangief. Headbutt into Hell Stab into OD Lariat. By doing this combo, it makes it so you have enough time to drive rush up and do a meaty, aka an attack that hits the opponent on the very first frame possible after they wake up from a knockdown, making it so they either have to block or immediately do an invincible move like Guile's OD flash kick. But if they try to do anything else, they will get counter hit, leading into a very damaging combo. Meaties are very important to know in any fighting game because it lets you keep your pressure. However, in this instance, Itabashi decided to grab, which if the person wakes up and backdashes or jumps, it will whiff. He was probably scared of the SPD. Lexx punishes the whiff and gets Zangief away from him, and we are back at it again. Until Zangief catches him with a sweep, drive rushes up, lands the SPD we all love. SPD puts the opponent far enough away that it's hard to continue pressure, so Guile jumps away. Lexx hits him with an OD boom. Zangief tries to approach again, and Guile just walks back and hits him with another boom, sends him back, and Lexx goes in to not get pushed back, catches him low, and will spend all of his resources to get as much damage as he can to finish it off. Round 2 starts, they both whiff their pokes, and Zangief doesn't charge his heavy punch and ends up getting countered. Another projectile comes out, Zangief jumps it and menacingly walks up to Guile. Both gave each other a good smack, and now you get to see a little footsie action. Zangief jumps in and Lexx techs the throw, and then just tosses out a heavy kick and cancels it into a level 3 super. Lexx then does the same thing again, except this time he does an overhead instead of a low. So this is what mixing your opponent looks like. Last time Lexx did a low, so Itabashi was expecting that to come out. As you can see, he was blocking low. And if you were wondering what an overhead does, well, it beats the person blocking low. However, Itabashi could have held parry to block both options, but then would be susceptible to grabs. And Lexx will spend all of his meter to finish off the job. And what comes next is quite possibly the most anime thing I've seen. Itabashi takes out notes and starts downloading their opponent. And if you're wondering what anime I'm referring to, it's Baby Steps. Round 1 starts, Lexx would try to use his fireballs, but Zangief would rush in, charge heavy punched armor through the fireball, and Lexx parries and hits him low and then trades blows. Lexx back at it again, tossing fireballs, and does his drive rush in and tries to hit him low. Zangief's drive rushes, charged heavy punch into low. Lexx hits him with 2 straight hits, backs off. Zangief empty jumps into SPD. Empty jumping is usually considered as a mix-up option. By not throwing out a move in the air, especially as a grappler, can make the opponent whiff their attack, allowing you to punish them. But the more useful benefit for empty jumping is doing a fast low as soon as you land, since jump attacks are considered overheads. Usually the person is going to be trying to block high, but could get mixed up and get hit by a low, or better yet, a command grab, which is what Itabashi does. Now usually it's always worth drive rushing back in after an SPD, unless you don't have much meter. He goes for a heavy punch, pushes Guile back into the corner, hits him with the 1, 2, 3 slaps. Meaty headbutt continues pressure with drive rush, slaps again and heavy punch to put him into burnout. Burnout is what happens when you have no more drive gauge and gives the player a couple negative effects. Perhaps the biggest one is being that all blocked attacks have 4 additional frames on block stun, making it so the other player can continue pressure easier, and also making more attacks safe on block. On top of this, you now take chip damage from specials and super moves that would normally only chip away at your drive gauge. This can make it so you die from blocking, and sometimes can put you in a checkmate situation in the corner if you're low enough health. Things get even worse by not being able to use any options that use the drive gauge, like drive impact, drive parry, drive reversal, or any OD move. And last but not least, if you block or get hit by a drive impact in the corner, then you will get stunned in the corner, leaving you completely vulnerable. It is perhaps the worst thing that can happen to you in this game, besides getting hit by a Zangief level 3 super. Zangief gets poked away, but then tries to hit him with a drive impact, whiffs. Lexx sweeps and switches sides. Itabashi backdashes and gets the SPD he needs to close it out. Round 2 starts. The usual couple pokes happen in neutral. Zangief attempts to jump a fireball, and Lexx rushes in with a medium kick and catches him with his crouching heavy kick and lands an OD flash kick. Zangief goes in for a drive rush, smacks and traded blows, and then tries to sneak a light low kick. Zangief goes for a big punch, whiffs, and gets punish countered, gives Lexx a nice combo. Zangief wakes up to a fireball and just takes it. Jumps over the next fireball, but Lexx is ready with his flash kick. Zangief jumps over the fireball and is back into neutral, and then he lands a smack into a headbutt, gets a punish counter, tries to reset back into headbutt, but Lexx uses OD flash kick. Zangief walks up, parries the 2 fireballs, but gets hit by the overhead, and that will do it. Round 3, they play neutral, and if you're a Guilty Gear player like me, you hate this. Zangief jumps over and tries to cross up Lexx with an overhead, but it doesn't matter, he gets an SPD anyways. A cross-up is similar to a mix-up, but instead of attacking high or low, it's from either left or right. Basically, it's when you attack your opponent right as you change horizontal sides you are facing. Since blocking requires you to hold the direction away from your opponent, this forces the player to quickly change their blocking direction. In this instance, it doesn't matter since he was parrying, which blocks both high and low, and it doesn't matter which side they are on. If you know Zangief, he's going to drive rush up after, and Lexx didn't want to deal with this, so he DPs, throws a fireball or 2 before rushing up to catch him with a low. Puts Zangief in the corner, but gets scared and walks away. They poke each other a couple times. Zangief jumps in with a kick into bread and butter, cancels the lariat into level 2 super. Now, there's a lot of options you can do out of this super. You can dash up, hell stab into air SPD. There's also a drive rush knee into SPD reset. You can also just level 1 super after the level 2. But Itabashi went for the hard execution of dash up, hell stab, level 1 super. The reason this is hard is because of how tight the timing is to cancel the hell stab, and if not timed right, you whiff and get punished for it. Zangief rushes up and takes not 1, but 2 punches to the crotch, and then a 3rd and 4th one, and then why not get DP'd there as well. Lexx tosses more fireballs, tries to rush up, hits low again. Zangief hits a low, will use all of his resources to try to finish this one off, and he takes the game. Game 3 starts. Lexx tries to go for the fireball and the drive rush punch. Zangief jumps it, but Lexx gives him a taste of his own medicine. Zangief jumps forward and trade. Lexx rushes up to hit him with a surprise overhead. Zangief perfect parries and SPDs. Will likely rush up and will go for a low. Rushes up again to try to poke. Uses heavy punch, armors through and gets a counter hit. Keeps pushing Lexx into the corner. They trade hits. Zangief does another heavy and Lexx counters with a drive impact. Wasn't fast enough. Zangief jumps back in. Lexx pushes him away with a DP. The good old throw a few fireballs and then drive rush in. Knee comes out and then uses fast buttons to be safe. Back to neutral. Zangief rushes into heavy punch into slaps. Jumps in, hits him with the kick, hell stab, gets a combo off, but it won't kill. Hits him with a wake up crouching light kick. And that will do it. Round 2, Zangief rushes in, tanks a fireball, and then Lexx parries it. They both trade hits, back to dancing, and Zangief empty jumps into SPD, does the classic rush up, tries to hit low. Might as well rush again into a fireball, why not? jumps in, trades hits, Lexx rushes in now, medium punch, whiffs the second one though, and gets punished by slaps, goes for the heavy, gets blocked, and Lexx tries to hit him with the heavy kick and uses level 1 super while he's still blocking. Zangief attempts a punish, Lexx is in the corner, Zangief cancels Hell Stab, puts Lexx in burnout, does a sneak low into drive impact, and this is death. And just like that, Itabashi makes it into winner's side top 8. And his next match would be against Boost, who is a new rising player that has been placing fairly well in recent events. But can they go up against a person who has 2 decades of experience? Let's find out. Game 1 starts, Zangief just dashes up and clobber knocks Boost. Dashes again into poke, then does headbutt, time to guess, cancel, SBD baby. Decides to conserve meter, now they stare back and forth at each other. Boost gets another counter hit, pushes him away to take a quick sip. Just kidding, 2 sips. Zangief dashes up, slaps, Boost goes for an overhead, and Zangief hits low into knee, blocks, and does a sneaky SBD. Rushes back in, smacks and uses heavy punch to put him in burnout, smacks into light kick, drive impact, and does a Russian suplex. Now the reason you don't see this move as often as SBD is because the startup of it is 10 frames. Double the amount of an SBD. However, this move is really good for gaining super meter and better for continuing pressure after. But the main reason Itabashi is using this is to build meter for future rounds. Round 2 starts, they walk back and forth for a little bit. Neutral jump from Zangief, nothing happens. Back to staring at each other. Zangief tosses out a kick and rushes into poke, into low, both get blocked. Boost goes for a low of his and he gets punished for it. They play a game of footsies for a little bit. Zangief rushes into heavy punch, catches him low, cancels into another poke, into hell stab, lariat. Boost DPs to not get bullied against the wall and takes a sip. Catches Zangief with an overhead, mixes into a low for a baby combo. Now they both start whiffing moves like a child playing baseball. Zangief dashes in, gets counter hit smack, and hits the button 2 more times to get all 3 smacks in. Pokes him with his foot into big punch, both just trying to get a low on each other. Jamie rushes in, Itabashi doesn't want none of that. Drive reversal comes out. Drive reversal is pretty much a get off me tool that uses 2 of your drive gauge, and similar to a DP, it gives you full invulnerability during the duration of it. But it can be blocked and makes you -6, so it is punishable and best used if you know they're trying to hit a button. Zangief dashes and slaps into big punch, keeping him safe, goes for low, drive rush, continues pressure, and lands counter slap so he can hit him 3 times. Boost wakes up to a headbutt, and this will cost him his life. Game 2, round 1, Boost hits him with a hard knockdown, takes a free sip. Zangief rushes in, tried to poke his eyes out, cancels into SBD, chooses to save his meter, tries to poke him again. They dance in neutral for a second. Boost pokes and cancels to get closer to continue pressure. Zangief tries to poke after the block string. Boost drive rushes in, does his multi-hit, which is plus, tries to tick throw after, but Zangief dashes back, SBDs. Drive rushes in, big punch, nothing. It's okay though because Zangief jumps in, kicks him in the face, sets up for a baby combo, then tries to sweep. Tries to go for a poke, rushes in for another poke, goes for some slaps, back to playing footsies. Zangief whiffs and gets punished, and Boost gets another sip. Neutral jumping to bait out something. Zangief goes for a low, cancels into another low. Boost doesn't want to take the mix, takes a sip. Zangief just needs to find one more hit. Does a perfect space knee to be safe and tries to catch him low into light punch. Drive rushes SPDs and wins the round. Round 2, dance time. Into big punch, into don't touch me. Takes a quick sip, Zangief cartwheels. Jamie wasn't impressed. Rushes in, pokes into sweep. Boost will land his sweep and take the drink. Boost goes for a poke, rushes in, and Zangief techs the throw. Zangief whiffs his big kick and will get sweeped, and Boost gets his 3rd drink in. Zangief rushes in and misspaces his slaps and gets countered, and will get his last drink. Time to dance again. Boost lands his poke, drive rushes to continue the combo, and uses his level 3 super. And I think right here, Zangief should be able to use his level 3 super to counter this, because that would be fair and balanced. Drive rushes up, gets a little extra damage, and gets Oki. Zangief wakes up to a grab, and Boost gets a perfect KO. Third round, Boost comes in hot, consecutive punches, backs away. Zangief jumps up, shows off his knees. OD lariat rushes up and gets scared. Boost at it again with the punches, this time isn't scared, uses a cheat code to extend the combo, takes a free sip. Zangief goes for the intimidation, neutral jumps, then tries to pokes, but gets kicked in the chest, and Boost takes another sip and lands a poke. Zangief runs in with a big punch. Boost doesn't want to deal with guessing. Doesn't matter though, because Boost whiffs an attack and Zangief hits him hard with a big foot. Goes into level 2 super, attacking the drive bar, and then finishes it off to use his level 1 to put him into burnout. Ooh, you love to see it. Rush it up, gives him the knee, gets a small combo off. Time to play a little neutral. Itabashi needs 2 pokes to finish it off. Lands 1, and Boost uses his level 2 to get max drinks, jumps over, and Zangief goes in on the offense, keeping the pressure on him, and lands an SBD to finish the game. Round starts, and just what you expect, it's a few seconds of people being scared to hit buttons, unlike us brave heroes who map. Boost catches Zangief low, then starts drinking early. Our boy tries to poke and goes into a big punch, but Boost catches him low and takes another sip. Zangief rushes in, gets hit by the target combo, and Boost is just about in party mode now. Does OD swag, it gets blocked, but then hits him with a target combo again, and it's not looking good for Zangief. Rushes to pressure, Zangief presses a button, and gets punished, and when Jamie has this many drinks, it hurts a lot. Zangief techs the grab, gets more space, goes for a slap into rush, big punch, armors through, rushes up, slaps, and staggers the next slap, drive rushes again into full charge punch, and Boost gets a perfect parry. This won't do as much damage now, and because of that, it won't kill. Tries to finish it with the overhead, gets blocked, and Zangief goes for a grab, and Boost backdashes, and that will be it. Round 2, Boost rushes up with a multi-hit, extends it into a combo, and feeds his addiction. Zangief jumps in and is able to block just in time to get a slap. Wants to keep pressure, so he drive rushes. Boost calls out this and lands a combo of his own and puts Zangief in the corner and does a frame kill. What a frame kill is basically setting up for your next action. Generally, this is done by whipping one of your attacks to eat up all the frames to perfectly set you up for the next action. This way you don't have to think about the timing of a safe jump or a grab. You just hit this button and then you immediately do the next action, and it just works. Some people might call this an auto time setup as well. But if you want to be a true warrior, you just do this in your head and then miss and take the consequences. He wakes up to a grab and then wakes up to both of them touching toes. Zangief's trying to make some space for himself, lands a slap, then a low, and tries to do a light kick into drive rush, but whiffs and gets countered into level 3 super. That will finish what's left of Zangief. Just kidding, he has to drive rush, and then he finishes him. Game 4, drive rush, whiff slap, but the dance off commences until Cheeto Chop comes out, back to dancing. Boost goes in for a kick into drive rush. Zangief doesn't want to deal with that. Zangief pokes into big punch to attack the drive bar, lands the kick into OD Express. This is one of those things that's really hard to react to, even though it seems like it'd be easy because you see a big glowing yellow man, but it's a very sneaky way to get in, especially since light kick has a decent range. He rushes back up, gets hit by the low, and goes into a baby combo and gets sipped on. But Zangief slaps him and just shoves his big head into his face, stabs him in the chest, and spins to win. He isn't done yet. He goes in, pokes, blocks the low, headbutt comes out, time to guess, puts him in a burnout, stuns him, and finishes him off with OD Express to build that meter for next round. Round 2, dancing, footsies, neutral, whatever you want to call it. It happens until Jamie lands a kick and rushes after to get some extra damage, but more importantly takes the sip. Then immediately gets hit by the big foot, takes another chug. Zangief trying to jump in, but gets hit by the DP and hops forward, and then gets a tick throw off. Then obviously keeps drinking, because why not? Continues to poke him against the wall. Then cancels one of them to drive rush and do another tick throw. And might as well throw again, because nothing makes anyone more angry than getting thrown twice in a row. He then does it again, but whiffs, then gets grabbed himself. Zangief now pokes to drive rush in, Boost DPs out of that, and takes the final sip, and just like me, dies for using the cartwheel move. Round 3, big dance off into Jamie ODing and nut tapping Zangief and gets a combo off of it. Zangief wakes up, gently kicks Jamie and rushes into nothing and blocking the big kick. smacks Boost away, but wants to continue slapping, and then goes for an SBD. Dashes up again, meaty punch, rushes up again to slap in a headbutt to burn him out. Gives him the knee, they trade blows, goes for a cartwheel, somehow it lands. Boost just trying to keep him away with pokes. Lands one, goes into level 3 super, and this will save him from staying in burnout. Continues the combo by hopping forward instead of using drive rush and takes a sip. Back to dancing, but this helps out Zangief build meter, but gets poked and Boost lands another combo which gives him another drink, both just trying to find another opening. Zangief has 3 bars of super, he drive rushes in big punch as Jamie jumps over him, counters it, and will spend all of his meter to make it so he only needs to land one more hit or a grab. Itabashi hits low, tries a headbutt, and rushes in with a knee and throws out a Hail Mary cartwheel again. It doesn't land and Boost will finish this game off. Last game, Zangief tosses out a light jab to check if Boost was going to drive rush in. Zangief goes in first, gets nothing, and then Boost tries to sweep. It gets blocked, and Zangief gets a free poke. Jamie rushes in, Zangief backs away, jumps in, gets hit by the DP per usual, takes a sip, but not fast enough to block the sweep. Zangief jumps in, tries to catch Jamie's jump, but not quite fast enough. Both trade hits, and Jamie, of course, gets to continue his combo after and take another sip. Zangief drive rushes in, big punch, trying to burn him out, and goes back in, gets poked, and poked again into big palm, takes his 3rd sip and now has command grab available. Zangief loves jumping in and getting hit by DP. Boost walks up and does the wake up grab, dashes up, tries to catch him with an overhead. Zangief does the light kick and SBD, but Boost is ready for it and drive rushes to punish the missed grab, and Boost takes round 1 of the final game. Boost only needs one more round left to finish off Itabashi and put him in a losers. But Itabashi is here to prove a point.
It is you who needs to raise the difficulty setting. SPD, he held up. He knew even if he gotta get walked out. Yeah, wide choice. Wide choice. Man, that was so active.
Oh, Boost not afraid to use the OGP out of the corner. And right there, Itabashi finds the jump in.
No, I think the whale at the drive gauge, I agree that that gave an opportunity for Boost to get out of here. The opportunity is definitely in his hand. No!
The drive reversal right there.
Oh my God, come here. Oh, no! Look at the light.
We'll come back. Right, but Boost is burnt out, and then he can get chipped. Yup.
Itabashi ends up winning with a perfect finish. After what looked like a momentum swing in Boost's favor, somehow Itabashi comes out on top. However, his next opponent would be Dual Kevin, a top competitor in Street Fighter, placing in top 3 in most tournaments he attends. Plus, he's also 15 years younger than Itabashi, so time is on his side. However, I'm not going to sugarcoat it because Itabashi really does embody the soul of Zangief and doesn't hold back the punches. And let's just say, it's not exactly a good time for Dual Kevin.
Baby, for anybody really, I'm not trying to be biased. No, that's part of it. Hey, Vince's Undertaker block. Itabashi Zangief was scheming.
Keeping the fight in the middle of the stage. Right, Itabashi duck, showing him that you can't just sit there. Again,
Itabashi's hanging away, but that one shake into the headbutt is going to set the tone. Speaking of setting the tone, oh no! I see. He wants to be closer to him, right?
Yeah.
Who's going on here? Maybe Era, who knows?
and a lot more SPDs that we've seen usually from Itabashi in this top.
Suave, Paco. Hold on, suave. Back up. Don't get too close. Too close, man. Aye! He's there.
In the corner, there goes the double headbutt right there.
No ejection seat here. No. Talk to me here.
And good.
From Itabashi, he's looking for it. Oh, even better.
Good awareness from there to at least attempt it.
No.
Planted him, and he does get a setup from this.
Woo! That man hit him with the North Carolina.
You can't sit there and take it all the time.
Man, you got some footing here. You got a level 3, but then have to make something happen. Not even a level 2 is going to help there. There you go.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to walk in.
Oh, wow. Interesting decision right there. He avoided the jump out with his own. Oh, and this will take it. Driver's extension, lariat.
Seeing the green and mashing between. Oh, no.
Into the level 3 potentially.
Oh, come on! It was coming to double chop, I'm telling you. And you know what? Why not? He does have games to give.
And just like that, Itabashi is in grand finals. And as you may know from my other videos, grapplers making it in the grand finals are few and far between, and yet here we are. And even more impressive is he's able to compete with all the new talent at the age of 43. When looking at research, humans' peak performance in sports is between 25 and early 30s. And while this isn't the most physically demanding sport, it still takes a lot of mental, precise execution, and let's not forget reaction time to compete at this level. His next opponent, though, is Idom. While his Street Fighter 6 results are impressive given that the character he plays is also a pseudo-grappler, and some consider weaker overall to Zangief. But what Idom was really known for was his Street Fighter 5 placements, winning in most of the events he goes to, or at least landing in the top 3 spot. But what really makes this Grand Finals even more special is that it's two grapplers trying to grab each other. It's an extremely rare sight to see, and finally we are witnessing it now. So let's jump in. Grand Final starts, Geef runs up into Manon's foot, Geef slapping a big punch, rushes in with another big punch, trying to attack the drive gauge into Hell Stab, rush into SBD. Opposite save meter tries to poke, Idom tries to poke back, and then Geef comes in swinging again and made the mistake of hitting another button, is able to mash out of the pressure, does a charge punch, armors through, dashes up and tries to space out his slap, doesn't matter though because the big punch hits. Idom attempts to jump out of the corner, but if you play this game you know that's a risky move as it's very easy to punish jump-ins, and Itabashi demonstrates this well as he takes round 1. Round 2, the gentle dance into Idom poking low and Geef just tossing out pokes like it's nothing. Then rushes into charge punch, rushes up again to continue pressure, headbutt, then time to guess. Oops, wrong guess. Time for baby combo, gets the Oki. Manon wakes up, backdashes, gets her grabs and goes up a medal. So when Manon lands a command grab, this medal number goes up by 1 and increases the damage of her next command grab. It goes up to 5 medals and becomes the most powerful grab in the game. And this also carries over to all the rounds in the set, unlike Jamie's drink meter, which resets every round. What I'm trying to say is that Manon can be really scary in later rounds. She rushes in, puts the pressure with a lot of frame traps, lands a hit, but Geef uses level 2 super to avoid guessing, also extends the level 2 super to get a small combo off of it, which pushes Idom further into the corner, granting him the advantage on wake up. Lands the low, continues into another small combo, puts himself in burnout, blocks the wake up attack, and continues to poke until death, taking the game. Round 1, they both try to bait out an attack. Geef ends up landing a low, rushes in to continue the combo, gets a hard knockdown. Idom backs away. Geef neutral jumps to bait out something, but ends up getting hit by the bait and adds a medal to her collection. Back to neutral, and Geef lands his poke, then tries to catch them low, attacks the drive gauge with a heavy punch. She hits him low, he drive rushes in, charge punch, but she parries it. Back to neutral. Just kidding, Manon gets punched in the face, rushes in, tries to pressure, gets hit by the overhead. She rushes in, Geef drive reversals to not play Mario Party. It doesn't matter though because she hits him low, converts it into a hard knockdown, hops up, drive rushes into grab, gets a medal, drive rushes again into a low, and will spend more meter to try to finish him off, and will take the round using a level 1 super. Round 2, time to play some footsies, both trying to do safe pokes or wait for a counter. They both poke each other. Itabashi out here swinging, hoping to land a hit or have them block to get rid of their gauge. Idom manages to get a solid hit in, gets a knockdown, drive rushes in, tries to catch him low, rushes in again to continue pressure, frame traps left and right, lands one of them, gets a 3 medal command grab, now going to be at 4 medals, which is roughly equal to an SBD now. She jumps in, Geef gets hit and will convert into a full combo, will spend his level 2 super just to have him be at 1 touch away. Drive reversal comes out, she jumps back and then lands the low and takes game 2. Game 3 starts, they both slug it out, Geef lands a hit, then Manon lands another one, back to neutral. Idom tries to open him up, but he doesn't want none of that. Hops up, slaps, and big punch. Idom hits low. Geef runs back and slaps, tries to knee from safe distance to be plus. Geef really trying to burn out Idom right here. Lands a slap, runs in, pokes. Idom tries to sweep, gets a big punch in the face, and burnout happens. Here comes a headbutt, hell stab into drive impact to stunner. What happens now is the optimal combo with no super. He jumps back to position himself with a perfectly spaced lariat. This next part is tricky because you have to do a well-timed hell stab to land the EX lariat. And then you have to Tiger Knee the air SBD, and if you don't know what a Tiger Knee is, it just means using an air special as close to the ground as possible by inputting the special move before jumping and then hitting up in the attack button almost simultaneously. For example, you would have to hit 4, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, wait a couple frames, then 2 kick buttons. But this is how you do an optimal stun punish combo, and it's pretty cool if you ask me. Idom still living, but not for long. Round 2, Idom lands the first hit, lands his hit grab combo to get the first medal of the set. Zangief rushes into punch, making it safe, then lows into OD suplex. Rushes back in, Idom goes for the level 2 super. Itabashi was ready for this, blocks, does the heavy kick combo starter, goes into level 1 super, doing big damage and hurts the drive gauge. Rushes back in with a knee into low. Idom backs up, they trade hits. Zangief wakes up to command grab, getting another medal. Zangief lands the poke, just one hit away now. Goes for the drive impact, and Idom not ready for it. Hits the wall, and Itabashi takes game 3. And now he is just one game away from winning it all. Game 4, Zangief goes in, puts on the aggression, and does another sneaky OD suplex, which gives good Oki options, and goes for the SBD. Then does a charge heavy kick fake out into instant slaps. Now, I don't know what this is called, but you can cancel the landing lag of the charge version of Zangief's heavy kick to fake out the opponent to block this move, but then land and do something else. Usually you do this into SBD because the opponent is most likely going to be blocking and will have a hard time to react to this. But the timing on this is really tight and generally is pretty hard to pull off, at least for scrubs like me. Anyways, it's cool to see someone use this in tournament play. He doesn't get anything off of it though, and I think he expected Idom to jump forward, and that's why he used Lariat, but now gets punished for it. And Idom gets a hard knockdown. Zangief doesn't want to guess, hops forward, gives her the 3 slaps of death. They both jump. Idom puts Zangief in block stun and will continue the pressure and baits out the drive reversal, and it's able to land her command grab. Goes for the wake up overhead. Idom trying to push Zangief into the corner to put him in stun, and now Idom goes for the continuous medium punch. Now I bring this up because this move is outright scary during burnout because it becomes +3 on block while also being a forward momentum move, making her stick to you. It trades with 4-frame moves and is a frame trap for everything else. With the ability to keep the person in block, she can mix in command grabs to mix the other person up, or in this case, Idom went for a drive impact to stun him against the wall. However, Itabashi went for a heavy punch, which covers both medium punch pressure since he gets armor on the 4th frame, and it also covers drive impact since he can armor through that as well. Itabashi ends up taking the first round and is only 1 round away from winning it all. Round 2, Zangief rushes in, pokes, and Idom was probably thinking he would use heavy punch instead, but it does push Zangief towards the wall. Idom uses a poke to drive rush in, tries to catch low and goes for the grab, but Zangief jumps it, hits with a cross up which can go into headbutt, ends it with an EX lariat to get a hard knockdown, jumps in with a punch, lands the slap, big punch, then hits low level 2 super. Puts Idom into burnout already, continues the combo with heavy kick, air SBD, not dead yet. Idom gets out of the corner, hits Zangief into the corner. It's getting too serious for dance music, but they're dancing dramatically. Idom's burnt out, so he doesn't want to try anything risky. Both trying to find a way in. Idom lands another hit into level 2 super, getting her out of the burnout state. Pressures Zangief against the wall, lands a poke, but no follow-up. Zangief hits a low, drive rushes, and will win the whole damn tournament. In a world where reflexes fade and reactions slow with age, there's something truly awe-inspiring about watching a player like Itabashi, 43 years old, defy the passage of time. It's not just his mastery of Street Fighter 6, it's the dedication, the endless hours, and the sheer will to prove that age is just a number. Itabashi isn't simply playing a game, he's rewriting the rules of what's possible, showing us that passion, honed skill, and unbreakable spirit can transcend any limitation. It's a reminder that we aren't bound by the expectations of time, and the fire to compete can burn just as brightly in your 40s as it does in your 20s. Itabashi's story is a testament to the idea that no matter where you are, no matter how old you are, you can always keep leveling up. And that will do it, guys. Thanks for watching. This video took me a little longer than I thought it would, but I'm almost at 10K subs, so that's pretty exciting. And if you like watching this kind of stuff, then please subscribe or comment to show me that what I'm doing matters. But anyways, gonna try some new experimental stuff for my upcoming videos, so we'll see how that does, but hopefully I'll be able to post sooner than 2 months. So thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.